All right, folks, back on the Bossman show. You see him on the screen. Gus Argenal here with me. You see Riverside Highlanders out of the Big West out there. I know a lot of people in the Big West. So I'm looking forward to getting to meet Coach Gus here today with me on the show. Coach, how life out there in Riverside, man?
Everything is going great. We're waiting for our guys to get back, to campus. We just got done. We're on the quarters, so we're waiting here for about a month to get them going. We started a little bit later, but I'm fired up to be the new head coach here. I'm honored. As you know, the spring in college basketball is always crazy with all the new hirings and the transfer portal and all of this, and so we're starting to get out of that a little bit. Our lineup, our roster is kind of coming together, and I'm just honored to be in this chair and honored to be on the show, man. So thank you so much for getting me here. I've been watching a lot of your episodes. I saw you wearing that Raiders hat in Coach Passner's. I'm a Bay Area guy, and every night I'm a Niner guy though, so I cry myself to sleep that we're losing teams from the Bay. But we'll give Coach Passner some more Vegas teams. It's all good.
Yeah, he's gonna get him an NBA team for sure coming. That's coming. It's just waiting to be announced. I'm telling you, it's coming. Then Seattle. After last night, man, the
I
guy
know.
they're coming too.
It's crazy. What a game last night, huh? I was fired up for my former guy, Jalen Williams, not the Santa Clara one, but the Arkansas one that's didn't get to play last night, but he had was a big piece of their run in the last couple of years. So that was an amazing game and felt so bad for Halburn.
Yeah, and you know what, Coach Gus, man, I was at Game 6,
Oh
so
wow.
I was at Game 6 because the NBA's my beats too as well. So I was at Game 6, crazy environment, game at Field House. I tell you, I was there because associate head coach Lloyd Pierce is from Coach Atlanta
Yeah.
Hawks, who
Yep.
I'm still friends with. So I went to go support ALP. So
He's a great guy, and again had his start also in the Bay Area, Santa Clara guy, right, for a little
yes,
bit.
he is.
So yeah, no, great guy, great coach. It's amazing when you look at those benches too, with all the great coaches that are assistant coaches. He'll get another shot at it too. I mean, right now it's what they're doing in Indiana, what they've done at OKC. It's like it's amazing to watch how they build these rosters. And now I just saw something this morning. OKC's got like three or four first round picks coming or something. I mean, this
Yeah.
is that's wild.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you this from they'll only use one of them. They're gonna trade the other two. So
Okay.
I can tell
Yeah.
you
You
that.
got the intel, man. You're more big time than me.
Because I'll tell you why, Coach. They can't roster these guys anyway. So you
Yeah.
have to trade back and get more assets. So Sam Presti has a plan. Trust and
He
believe.
always, he always does. He's had one for the last decade. So
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, Coach Gus, is Coach Gus, man, for you, sitting the big chair for you, man. How's it been? With all the different calls, the fundraising, meeting the fans. You're 0 right now. Everybody loves you because you're 0 right now. How's it been for you, man?
it's always wild. Like I keep telling you, I go back to I'm just so excited about the opportunity. But it's when you go from, May 1, let's say I get hired and you do your press conference and then you start building your team. I would say the last month and a half has been everybody says it's a whirlwind, and it is. It's a good whirlwind. Getting your staff on board, trying to figure out, like you talked about, boosters, donors, alumni, all those type of things, the people on on campus, getting to know people slowly but surely. But I'm like a narrow vision guy. When you work for Coach Muss and you've been around, like the first thing is the first thing, which is getting your roster together. So like I was really focused on getting the best possible, 11 to 13 guys we could have for next year, and then working on my staff and the schedule. And now I'm kind of getting to, everything where we're building this community of alumni and boosters and all those things together. So I'm pretty. I don't know if I have enough. I can take all. I can't do too many things at once. But when you sit here too, luckily I was a head coach at Cal State East Bay, which was a Division II school, in Northern California, the old Cal State Hayward, right by Oracle and all that back in the old days, and then San Bernardino the last 2 years. So I have experience taking over a program late in the spring, and what you have to do. It's just maybe on a little bit of a larger scale now, but again, just excited about the opportunity to be a part of the Big West. And Riverside's an unbelievable campus. I tell everybody it's an hour from everything. You want to go downtown to a game, you want to get to Palm. You're a golfer, I bet. So you probably like to golf. So we'll get you to Palm Springs.
Yes, I do.
We can get you to the beach, to the mountains in an hour. So it's a really good setup. I'm excited we're recruiting for 2026 already. The recruiting period just started for Section 7 last weekend. So it's going, but it is a whirlwind. But again, lucky to be in this whirlwind. I've been working a long time to be in this situation. So I'm really, really honored to be a part of UC Riverside.
Well, I was out in Palm Springs for a week in Indian Wells
Uh-oh.
with the tennis tournament.
Uh-oh,
I was
yeah,
out
you
there.
were playing
So
that good golf right there.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, man. Look, my golf game is like this, Coach. Everything's going left because I hit across my body. Everything's going left, man. It's going
Hey,
left.
at least you can hit. I haven't golfed in like a decade because my wife, with her work, they had a golf business trip. She invited me to come with them. I was in that scramble type thing. So I'm the first guy sitting up there on the tee, and all the guys are heckling me. And I whiffed on like two or three hits. And since that one day, I got scarred. I literally haven't golfed in like a decade. So you're a lot better than me, but I probably got to get back out there.
And same with Top Golf. When I go to Top Golf, it's everything's going left, long and left. it's,
Hey,
it's across
grip it
my
and rip
body.
it. Grip it and rip it, man. That's what you got to do.
Yes, 100%, man. And you mentioned something I want to come back to with scheduling. Now, what you've been first, look at you as a first year head coach.
Yeah.
How them calls been? Are people trying to buy you, man? Are they trying to get them a win off
Hey,
of you?
I told my wife, I said, hey, this is the worst feeling ever because everybody right now, I'm getting a lot of calls, which is not maybe not a great thing at times when you're a head coach, because you're taking over a program and guys are trying to figure out how good is this team going to be. I'm hoping that next year at this time I don't have any calls because nobody wants to play. That's the goal. But you have to be really strategic, and again, when you take over a schedule, Coach McPile again did a phenomenal job. Riverside's had its best run in the last 5 years at the Division One level. We were second most wins, in overall in the Big West, and so I'm taking over a program that knows how to win. And with that, it's really strategic about your scheduling. Going on the road, starting home and homes. There's guarantee games, there's buy games, there's all those things you have to try to do what's best for your team. And I always say you just schedule with your roster, and I'm excited about our roster, but I want to give them some confidence early on, and then we have some challenges already that we're still working through. That's the thing, man. And I'm still working through all my contracts and everything. I wish I could announce every game that we have, but until those contracts go through, but it'll be challenging. And shoot, then you get in the Big West, and the Big West play is not easy. It had its best year last year, and multiple teams going to the postseason. So we got our hands full, but again, we don't feel like the underdog here. We've been competing at an extremely high level, and I'm coming off six or four straight NCAA tournaments, and then two here the past couple years at Bernardino. So I'm excited and ready to do it.
No doubt. And also, I want to ask you about recruiting. I feel like it's changed now. It's like speed dating almost, Gus. Like, you got to figure out if a guy's really in it for him. He wants some NIL money. Does he want just so
Yeah.
trying to figure out what a guy's motive is, man. So, how is this adjustment to recruiting for you, kind of doing speed date mode, getting young men in there out of the portal to build your roster? How's that been for you and your staff, man?
Well, one, they want to come to Riverside right now because we've been winning. So that's one thing. It's a program that's won. It's in Southern California, obviously. You can't see the palm trees, but I got a couple right outside here for you. So it's a great place to recruit too. But when you're going through the portal, everybody talks about I work for Eric Musselman. One thing you learn is how to evaluate quickly, how to evaluate the person quickly, how to kind of dive into them as a man, as a young man, and figure out do they really fit me. I really try to cut out a lot of the noise of recruiting, and if it's not something that's easy to start, it'll be really hard once that season gets going and there's a little bit of adversity. So they have to want to be here. They have to want to be a part of how we're playing. They have to be unselfish. I always say team, teammate, self. I think that right now it's so about me and I. We have to get guys that really believe in winning and want to be a part of that, but then also want to achieve what they want. Like, I coach Anthony Black, Nick Smith, Jordan Walsh, Ricky Council, all these guys, Jalen Williams, who just won last night. They all wanted to win, but they also wanted their own personal accolades and be able to further their career. So you just have to balance that. And then I think, you just have to do a great job, you and your staff, of seeing, does this guy fit what I want? It's not just about talent, it's about talent that fits how you want to play. And, we love length, athleticism, guys that can switch. I really care about shooting, but I also would rather have somebody that can defend and rebound and is pretty rugged and tough. Because I think at the end of the year, your toughness really helps you make those runs in March, which is what we all want to do.
No doubt. And this summer for you is gonna be a lot of player development stuff, or more be into some team concepts because you want to, and then let guys play. You kind of see what you have. So come August, come fall, come you're on quarters, but come the
Yeah.
fall, it's not
Yeah.
so much trying to cram stuff in. You kind of know what you have and kind of can workshop it while they go away, how these pieces fit together. Because if you don't let guys play, you really can't tell if he's doing all the individual work all summer long, in my opinion.
100%. No, no, no. We do both. So, and it's a lot of team stuff because this right now, everybody's working out with their trainers. Everybody's working out extra on their own. We have our certain amount of hours that we're able to work with the guys, and we try to do a lot of team because again, it's a quick it gets here quickly. The summer again, you get your extra 4 to 6 weeks, but no, you got to be ready to roll as a team. And the biggest thing is running the race when the season starts. A big piece of that race is this. Even though I don't know if you were a sprinter or a long distance runner, I was more of a long distance. You got to have a good first lap, right? Like, and if you don't have you can't run too fast. But so that first, November, we got to have our team ready to play right off the bat. And so this summer is so important to put in your concepts, your DNA. How do we do this? How do we play? So again, we do a lot of team. I try to find as much data on each guy as possible. So you got to play a lot of 5-on-5 and make sure you know what each guy can do, and you give them the opportunity to earn the minutes that we talked about through the recruiting period.
No doubt. And something you mentioned very there. I'm son of a coach too, Gus, as well. I'm son of a
I can
coach.
tell. I know
So
you are. I can tell.
yeah, I'm a son of a coach, man. So my dad was big on role definition. And
Yeah.
he would say, if you master the role I give you, you can graduate to another role. If you master the role I give you. So I'm talking about getting young men, 18, 24 years old, to buy into a role they may not agree with, but if they master it, graduate them into that role.
Well, the one thing is when you recruit, hopefully these guys are about winning. So they realize that, hey, this is going to help us win. Second piece is they want to be on the floor. So sometimes a guy wants this role, but this role will allow him to be on the floor more and allow him to be more productive. So that's the big piece of it, is just telling them the truth. Like, I just try to be honest up front and say, look, you may be a two, but we need you to play the three, or we need you to be more of a ball handling guard instead of off the ball here, or we need you to guard a little bit of bigger guys because you're better at it, you're stronger. That'll allow you to play 5 to 10 more minutes, and then it'll allow you to get maybe some of the numbers that you're trying to get. And it's just, hey, this is where you're at. This is where I see you. And if you can be that four-man for us for a while, I think you can then move into that three role if you develop that skill set that's needed, the 3-point shot, or, every position is different. But like you said, I just tell the truth with it. And again, I think that the guys appreciate that, especially right now because it's so quick. The recruiting process is so quick. The summer comes so quick. Then the fall, we're here. Well, they may only have 7 to 9 months on this campus. And you know that because of the transfer portal, and because, when we were at Arkansas, guys were getting drafted. And hopefully we have guys that happens to here. But you have to do it quickly. You have to use that data. And then you have to just sit them in this room and have that conversation with them that this is going to help you further your career. And at the end of the day, for them to further their career as professionals, it's about their ability to be a part of a winner and then actually put up numbers that helps them, rebounding, assists. Like, it doesn't matter where you're on the floor. It matters at the end of the day on that stat sheet that you've impacted winning on the floor with minutes.
You know what, Gus? I know for me, so maybe also this accepting your role or accepting what your strengths are. I know for me on the basketball court, I was like Lou Dort. I'm more of a
Yep.
spot up shooter and defender. I didn't have handles on the
Okay.
football field. 5'11" in the slot. I'm quick as you know what. You can't stop me. So
Yep.
like you have to know what your strengths are and what you're doing. So on the basketball court, I knew it was shooting and defense and hustle and intangibles. Football field, I can get away with this with hands and speed. So getting your men to accept their strengths, whatever they
Yeah.
are, and just play that, and whether to be something they're not, goes along with that role definition as well.
Yeah, it's the you just said it, that's the biggest part is we can talk about it, but if they don't want, it's just like when you go work on your game when you're a basketball player, if you're not really out there and you don't have a purpose, you're just shooting to shoot. You're just out there playing, right? So when we talk about the definition, they have to see like what it is that actually works for them. And once they see a little bit of success in that role, then they buy into it much more. But again, it's a very like from the very beginning, and I always go back to this at Arkansas, we had so many, all-star NBA college type guys that you have to put them in certain areas and then see that success and then they go, wow, okay, I like being off the ball in this situation. Or when it's a dead ball, who inbounds the ball in our baseline out of bounds sets to try to get them a couple extra assists, who's scoring in those situations. You have to go really deep into every piece of the game to get them to where they want to go and show them this is how you can score, this is what you do. You talked about Dort. We played him when we were at Nevada. Wow. Talk about a guy that could pick the ball up full court. He was guarding Cody and Caleb Martin, giving them, again, one of the toughest games we had on the road against Arizona State. We played him at Staples. But like that guy right there, like last night, you watch him come in the game. His role was to create chaos, hit an open shot. He had that back tap when they were making that run last night. I mean, just all those things. And you actually saw Caruso, one of those timeouts. I was looking at it. I got chills watching it. Dorda made a back tap. They got the ball back. They started extending their lead, and then on one of the timeouts, Caruso's like just going crazy with Dort because you appreciate those winning plays that those guys make, and they know that both of them are only on the floor right there to complement those other guys. And so I think then when you see that winning, that success, it just goes a long way. And I think you have to also, as a coach, you have to embrace those guys. You have to talk about those guys and all those little things they're doing to help you win, whether they're on the blue line, the midline all the time and making steals. And so just promoting, the roles and the relationships you have with each guy is really important to your team.
100%. I think that still so goes so far, Gus. In today's game is relationships, knowing that you really care about them and it's not a transaction person. It's not just about for a few months. This is a 40-year relationship we're making with each other. So talk about that piece of it as well in this new world, how relationships are still important to build with these young men so they can ever be there, call you on Father's Day, tell you about their new baby, their new job, or get a contract in Europe and talk about things you helped them with. Talk about that part of the coaching that you love as well.
Well, I got one for you. There's a guy named Trey Wade who's actually from the Georgia area. He played at Wichita, and then he played for us at Arkansas. And I got a text from him. It was like, I think it was on Father's Day. It was my birthday last week. And, hey, coach, I'm thinking about doing this in my career. I'm thinking about maybe being a coach. I want to talk to you next week about it. And so, like, when you get calls like that, it's what it's all about. I got into it because I had a great high school coach, Frank Alaco. I had a great college experience. All my friends, a lot of them are coaches now, but we had such a great experience, and we have, lifelong relationships. So the great ones, in my opinion, they get into it because they care about building men, building a team, and having that, what you just said, that call, hey, I just had my first child. I'm getting married here. I want you to, be the officiant at my wedding, be a part of that. So, for me, it's hard because this is a transactional time in college athletics because everything happens so quickly. But when they get here, I have two boys that are 15 and 13. I know you have a child. Like, you have to treat them like your own, and then you have to just show them that you do care about them outside of hoops. Like, you have to really want that, and it doesn't happen while you're there. It happens 3 years from now when they're done. You staying in contact with them and continuing to build your relationship with them. And again, I have so many people now. I'm so lucky after 22 years of doing this to have hundreds of guys that you still stay in touch with. It's why this is an unbelievable business to go into. It's a hard one at times, but it's a so rewarding. And again, why we all do it is because of that at the end of the day.
No doubt, coach. I also do some volunteer work, coaching a youth basketball team. And, for me, when I get to go over there and spend time with those young men and pour into them knowledge I have from my dad and from my own experiences, man, it's fun. But the main thing is I want them to know I care about what you say to me. I'll get down on one knee at their level, here's to them, but I want them to hear that I know I already do care what you say. I know you're 5, 6 years old, but I do care what you're saying to me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well, they have to feel that. And at times, it doesn't, this with teams, not every guy and you have the greatest relationship because sometimes things just don't meet up, whether it's the playing time or whether it was something, but you just have to have that mutual respect. They have to know that at the end of the day, you want the core things for them, which is to have a great experience, to get better as a player, as a man, as a person, as a student. And then there's those special ones that, I can name them, that you start picturing, you could do it right now. You start picturing their faces right now and you see that, then you see him on Instagram and this guy accepts a job here, this guy is doing that, and it's just it's so awesome. But unless you've been a coach, this, you don't know that feeling, right? Because you don't know. It's like a teacher, right? You pour so much into them as young people, and then you want it so badly for them to have what you had. And so when it does come to fruition, it's an awesome feeling.
Well, the good thing about our youth league coach is we the roster limit is 9, so you can rotate 9. So I don't have that problem. It's about who starts. You have to sub everybody out at 4 minute mark. So I don't quite have the pay entire problem at 5 or 6 years old that you do in the KPG boy.
Yeah, hey, you're lucky with that. Unfortunately though, you look at, teams that are playing, especially in the NCAA tournament now, you at the end of the year, you're really only playing 7 or 8 guys. And,
Yes.
and and again, that's just because of rotations. Now, if you're lucky, your team is deep enough to where things go wrong, you can have guys that can step into that 9, 10, 11 role. But it's hard to get that far down with those 5 and 6 year olds, though. You never know, right? They might score on the other team's basket. You got to sub somebody out
I'm
at some point.
target twice, coach. Like, no, no, no. We go that way. We go that way.
I know. I had to tell my guys sometimes that after a dead ball to remind them. So I get it.
It good. That's why I have to remember that kids. I only go into ice in the pick and roll.
Oh, yeah.
I have to remember I can't go 100% high level basketball on 5 or 6 year olds. I need to
Hey,
simplify.
no, you're right. I remember I was when I was at Arkansas, I went in, my son must have been, I don't know, 9, and I went to his practice and they asked me, "Hey, do you have any, plays you want to help him with?" And I started going to put this play and I'm like, "What am I doing right now? This has 7 different options. We just ran this against Tennessee the other night. This is not a good play to be putting in for fourth graders." So, yeah, you got to keep it. The main thing though, at the end of the day, and there's all these core beliefs that we all have. Mine's communication, trust, work ethic, accountability, passion. But then at the end of it, is fun, right? Is joy. Like, there's so many hard things that when people come to play for you, you want them to have fun. I think that teams and people that watch us play this year will see a team that, has fun, has joy, wants to win, but has a lot of passion out there. And that's what, you teaching young people, that's what it's all about, like giving them that passion that we have for basketball, right?
And the good thing about Gus, what I do with for the kids, I want to get you on the ball so I can get throw over top. He's later. That's my goal. It's like all the time in the way he gets so yes, chew on the ball, throw it
Yep.
over his head. He's open. Take your time, get to the basket. That's the end goal thing I put in. Chew on the ball with throw over top of the heads.
Well, hey, that's the number one thing of this. Can you get 2 people to guard one person, and can you not have 2 people guard one person? That's where everything breaks down. So you got the biggest. If you can teach them one thing, and then my biggest thing with young people now is I tell my boys that are 15, 13 all the time is be a great teammate, like cheer, have energy, be excited. If you're not in, like, I think that we're missing that at times. I think that's a skill of being a good teammate, like, having some humility, not having an ego when you play. So that's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's fun as can be, man. Let me ask you, Gus, as well, man. For you, what are your thoughts on the rule changes for college basketball, man? I've heard a bit of time about maybe going to quarters now. I think on some level, Gus, I may be wrong, being the Miami and more NBA guy now, but I want to advance the ball late. So
Yeah.
it's great for moments too, but I feel like you can advance the ball late and get a better shot than throwing it at heaving it up and hoping to go in. That's my
Yeah,
thought.
no, I am a full proponent of we do exactly what they do. Now, you can't do all of it because of the technology and things that they have, all of those things and the amount of time that the games would take. But I just think we should be evolving into everything that the highest level does. I really do. Now, at high school, I get why you can't do that because you can't have replays. And so that's the hard part. But I think if we're going to be developing professionals who then have to go over, if they're not playing the NBA, to the Euro leagues and playing in that type of, like, I think we should be playing as much as we can. I think our game times should probably be even a little bit longer as well. I do think sometimes it gets too quick, but I think that we should be evolving into everything we possibly can, like the NBA, because it's proven that you can play an 82 game, season in that type of an environment, and they play so much. So to me, our games are too quick. I think we should have a couple more games in the college or, in our schedule as well. I know it's hard because of school, but I agree. I think that we should try to morph to the NBA as much as we can, being that that's what the players now are so used to watching all the time.
Got two more for you, Gus. One I want to ask you about Vanderbilt because I went to school at Nashville, Tennessee State. So I want to ask you about
I know
Vanderbilt.
Tennessee State well.
So how was it to coach Memorial Gym when your team's on
Oh.
the other side of the court, man? How was that?
Well, hey, I'll tell you this, Tennessee State was one of the hardest places. I had took my Division II team, Cal State East Bay, to Tennessee State. We played them, and then we drove down and played UAB. And they had a football game, and it was an exhibition game. So they had a football game, and then they rolled everybody into our basketball. That gym was loud. They have that plane outside in front of the gym, right?
Yes, King Hall.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that place was. I don't want to go back there, but Nashville won, unbelievable city. But when you play at Vanderbilt, whew, we had a really good team with Anthony Black, and honestly, it was packed. Coach Stackhouse did a phenomenal job. It's such an advantage because you're so used to being on the side of the court. You can't communicate. Once that guy starts dribbling the ball down the court, you're not helping them at all. They're in trouble. And when you're defensively looking the other way, it's even worse. But one of the best venues I've been in college basketball, and then to add to it, to be in a city like that, yeah, I'll tell you this much: we didn't have great success over there. We lost with the nationally ranked team, so I felt the hurt over there. And when it gets going, they do a great job of keeping it up, and yeah, it was a tough place to play.
And last one is Gus for you, man. What's been the coolest call or text you've got since you got this job from somebody, man?
Well, I'd say this is probably the easiest ones. Probably the coolest conversation you have or the moment you have is when you're sitting there with your press conference and you look at your wife and your two boys that have been through 20 years of you coaching, to see you doing what you're doing and being able to start. I got emotional before the press conference even started, man. I walked up there and I was almost in tears already. So to be in that moment, you've worked so hard and you've seen so many of your friends have that opportunity to do that. It was really special for me as a coach. I will tell you this about the texts and calls you get though. I literally, and I'm telling the truth, I literally this week just finally got to where I was caught up with getting back to people. I tried to hit every single person back somehow. But I will say this one that really stood out to me. Again, it goes back to my high school coach. Just to see his text and say, "Man, I can't believe you're in this moment. Like you have to enjoy it." He got me started and wanted me to be a coach. To be here after this. We just get so we used to put up the newspapers in our room and the clippings and all that and the posters of all those guys and watch those great teams. So now to be a part of this fraternity is it's an honor. And again, I'm excited to have this next chapter of my career start. So thanks again so much for that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gus, I'm in your corner, man. They'll be cheering for you. And if hell for having the show again in the season as well. And we're gonna definitely be doing this together, me and you, man. We're gonna have a lot of time on the show together. Yeah, you got a long way to go now. One of your conference mates, Deidre Taylor, been on my show 18 times.
Well,
So you got 17 more to go.
18? Hey,
Yes.
but I worked for Diedrich, right? And Diedrich
Yes,
coached me.
yes, I remember. Yes.
He coached me when I was a young buck. I think that was his first. So I'll catch up to him at some point. I'm gonna
Yeah,
text him afterwards
yeah,
to make sure he
I see,
knows.
yeah, he's been on the show 18 times. You got
Hey,
17 more to go.
hey, that's what happens when you get to that NCAA tournament a couple times and do what he's done. He's done such a great job, and he's one of my mentors. So I'm not looking forward to playing against him, but I'm gonna catch up to him. Don't worry, I got time. He's getting a little older on me now, so I'll get him.
That's indeed. But good. It was fun having the show. Great to meet you, man. It was really fun having the show. We got to do this again real soon. I had a blast, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.